here we are putting it on stage, and it feels so right. I'm Martin Julien, and I am the playwright and one of the performers in The Man That Got Away, a special appearance.
I'm Ben Page, and I'm the piano player.
The Man That Got Away is a play that borrows from a lot of different forms, such as cabaret and confessional one-person play and musical theater, and kind of really plays around and subverts those forms to tell a story of my growing up in what was a unique family in the 1960s through the 1980s, where I was raised by my gay father and my lesbian mother. What do you think it's about?
I think you said it pretty well. We also use verbatim. That's another form.
Oh, yes, we do use verbatim theater. Absolutely, is a big device as well. Yeah.
It's an oral history of Martin's life, but also the history of Toronto, of queer history in Toronto, and so there's already at play in the text of the play is the intergenerational aspect of it's also Martin and his parents, and then the addition of myself and Tat as younger artists inside of it. There's also lots of play of do you know what this thing is? No, you wouldn't know what that thing is. I know what that thing is.
I also think it's fascinating that because I'm drawing on so much of my parents' memories, and in fact evoking them and even embodying them, you know, my dad was born in 1928. My mom was born in 1936. You know, they were children of the Depression, and then you know we have collaborators that are playing with that temporality who, you know, were born just at the tail end of the 20th century. So, you know, from 1928 to 2022, right, is practically 100 years of history and intergenerational knowledge, recovery, and discovery are built into the whole project.
So my part is, it's been a good challenge to try to figure out how to play a song like a piece of dialogue when someone else is singing on top of it with you, or so that way the piano player is a really interesting character because they have all of the sheet music right there. They know they could turn to the end of the show, but there's also part of that where we have to sing this song first, and here's the tempo, and 5, 6, 7, 8. Are you ready? You got to sing. So there's a really interesting dynamic of usually the pianist is an invisible component. You sit in the back of maybe you see a little bit of the hands with the conducting stick and the front by the footlights. But it's not that at all in this play. My role is, I'm another actor in many, many ways, but speaking mostly through music.
Yes, and there's a surprise casting reveal as well that we're not going to give away in terms of another role that the piano player actually reveals inside of the narrative of the play. And another character that we have invented to appear is the ghost of Judy Garland. You know, who of course was iconic, most especially to gay men in the 20th century. The friends of Dorothy and all that, and certainly my father was a friend of Dorothy, and but the figure of Judy Garland was very important to my parents' life, to both of my parents' lives, raising me and being in a family together. And so we have invited the ghost of Judy Garland to come back, and but it is not the Judy Garland that Hollywood might invent. They were trying to you know, do a replication or imitation of Judy's look and Judy's age and Judy's voice even. So we're pushing against expectations of how things should appear or properly appear and how they can appear in our imagination, in our aspirations. Well, what do you think, Ben?
I think it is a holiday show. I think it is.
I'm not going to disagree.
I mean, not in the way that we typically conceive of a holiday show, but there's a Christmas song.
There's a Christmas song. There's a whole Christmas theme in the show, and you know, this has something to do with Super 8 movies at Christmas when I was a kid. You know, with my parents, and it has to do with a song that Judy sang about Christmas, which was her last television performance in the United States before she died, on the Johnny Carson show. That's been woven in, and there's other Christmas references as well, and holiday references in the piece. And it is a family show, and sometimes when we think about family shows or Christmas shows, you know, we go, well, it's about family, it's about people coming together, and that's not always easy necessarily, depending on who your family is, at what point in your journeys you are in as a family. And I know that for lots of queer people, you know, the holidays is not always, right, the most straightforward or welcoming time in the way that it's supposed to be, you know, the way that it's designed to be within the culture. And so I hope that we're able to include, you know, all of the intricacies and challenges and difficulties that the holidays can be as well. So it's certainly a major theme in the show.
It keeps coming up.
Yeah. So I'd say come on out and have a thoughtful, great time.